What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video by Helmet to Helmet 49ers podcast. Today, I will be doing the Cardinals versus 49ers post-game podcast. I'm your host, JT. My co-host is my dad.
What's up, everybody?
First, don't forget to like and subscribe. So, let's talk about the game first. First, Christian McCaffrey scored a screen pass for a touchdown.
Yeah. It was a good play. It was a good win for the Niners, right?
Yeah, okay, applause that.
What was the final score was? It was a pretty good, big blowout, huh?
It was 38 to 13.
Yeah, man, that's another 30-point score for us. So yeah, CMC had that first receiving touchdown. That was pretty impressive. CMC is still on a roll. Man, he is so important and potent for this offense.
Next, on the defensive side, Gipson got an interception. It was way overthrown, like every single interception that happened. And that was his fourth interception of the season.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a pretty bad throw by David Blau. Yeah, he was in the right place at least. So glad that happened. And then after that, there was Amenahu, a good defensive play by a sack for Amenahu and Ebukam. They combined to get a half a sack each.
And for Ebicom, that was his fifth sack of the season, exactly 5 sacks. And for Menahu, that is 4.5 sacks. So they're pretty close to each other. And then, on offense again, Elijah Mitchell scores his first rushing touchdown from coming back.
Yeah, from IR. He just got activated. And just like the first time he got activated from IR, he played incredibly great. So much power and speed, and the guy's just looking great right off the bat. He doesn't need to practice at all, like you said earlier. He's looking awesome. What a 1-2 punch is.
It could be 1, 2, 3, but
it could be 1, 2, 3, 4.
Could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 if they can get Debo in.
Yeah. A lot of the running backs look real good today. What happened next after that? What other big play transpired after that Mitchell rushing touchdown?
Well, we were looking very forward to this, a Nick Bosa sack, and that happened.
Yep. What's the total for him now then?
18.5 sacks.
So close.
We'll talk about the Bosa ones later.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, we'll talk about that later. And right now, that sack, wasn't a huge sack where, big, massive loss of yards, but hey, I'll take anything. It's good. Loss of yards, loss of down, all good.
And then on the offensive side, George Kittle got a receiving touchdown, and that was his 10th of the season. And that was right before halftime, so that was a very valuable touchdown before halftime.
And that was real close to halftime, and just like last week against the Raiders, it was pretty much the same spot and the same type of catch. Going in the air, up in the air in the back of the end zone in the corner and catching that touchdown pass. Purdy and Kittle, they got something going. Something really good's going right between those two. So that's great. Another one for Kittle.
And then back to Elijah Mitchell again. He got a 37-yard rush, which was just amazing. great blocks, and then he just bursts through it. He has that burst away speed and has great acceleration like Chris McCaffrey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, looking good again. The guy has the speed, definitely. And from this game, he looks like he has some hands too to catch some passes, which I don't remember seeing him do the previous year much. But now he could be a dual threat, something like CMC. Be
Everyone
awesome.
said he's not a receiving back, but that's because we never got the chance to pass him. But I feel like if we were to pass him, he would be maybe as good as a catcher as Chris McCaffrey.
Yeah, he's. I don't know. He's good at receiver. CMC is like one of the best as running back receiver. But yes, you add anything to Mitchell's skills, oh man, if he can also receive, he's an incredible weapon for us.
And then to top it off, he got a 6-yard rushing touchdown, which was his second of the game.
He ran hard in this one too. Ran inside, knocked a couple people over, broke some tackles. It was an amazing sight to see him just come back, like I said, from off of IR and just hit the ground running, and he did.
And then back to the defensive side, Tashawn Gipson with an interception. And that was way, way, way overthrown.
Yeah, I don't
And he was
know.
juggling that one.
Yeah, exactly. It
And that
was
was his fifth interception.
it was meant for Marquise Brown, and it was overthrown again. Yeah, like you said, he did. Gipson did kind of juggle that thing, but luckily he hauled it in and ran it back a little bit. So this is not the ball hawking safety I was thinking that we needed, but it looks like he's doing pretty good. He's doing pretty good. And these are bad passes, errant passes, but you still got to make the play. You still got
We'll
to make
take
the
it.
catch, just like some other safety who had a possible interception go through his hands. Yeah, I'll accept. I take
Someone
it.
named JT, but it's not me.
Yeah. So that was a great turnaround. It really helped the defense. Takeaways, incredible for us to be able to get so many takeaways this season.
And then for the defensive line, it was a strip sack by Jordan Willis. He is very underrated.
Yeah, he was the hero last time when we played the Packers in special teams, and
He got a punt block that was
yeah,
recovered by Talanoa Hufunga.
yeah, he was the hero. So I'm so glad that we signed him back, and you know this is the stretch rundown here. We are hitting the playoffs, the postseason, the most important games coming up, and we need everybody to get on track and get hot right now. And you know, getting our depth going on defensive line helps.
And then George Kittle caught his second touchdown of the game with a 1-yard reception, and that's his 11th touchdown of the season.
Oh yeah, yeah. That this was a little short pass to the right. Kittle was able to get open. Purdy put it right where it needed to be. Once again, he has a great connection with Kittle, and this is Kittle has been a weapon that we've been wanting to, you know, unleash season after season. And there's always like, why does he just stay in block? Why aren't they throwing it to him? He can break tackles. He has good hands. He's showing he still has all of it. We just weren't giving him the ball for whatever reason. I'm not going to assume.
And did you know that Kittle, ever since Purdy's been quarterback, has caught 7 touchdowns?
Wow, yeah. That's almost a whole season. It's only just when he played with Purdy. But we did hear something about him having more yards or something than Kelsey in the
Yeah,
first 6 seasons
yeah,
or something
first
like
6
that.
seasons.
My mind was blown. I gotta look at these stats myself because I thought Kelsey is like consistently being thrown to when Kittle has some seasons where it's pretty low. His receiving yards. So I'll have to look that up later. Can't believe it, but I'm glad to hear it.
And finally, the most entertaining play of the whole game, George Ohm's interception. He just went around and around and just wouldn't get down to the ground.
Yeah, yeah, that was a good play. Good interception, and then a little run back. I think about 25 yards or so, ran around circles. It was very entertaining. It was very entertaining. He was not. He was going to try and get to the end zone, although he was far away from it, though. But he wasn't going to slide or go out of bounds.
He was gonna just break all the tackles until an offensive line pushes him out of bounds.
So yeah, that's how pretty much how the game pretty much ended. Um, let's talk about the actual players. This that's what's real important. How are the players doing?
Of course, Brock Purdy is doing amazing because we may have found a new amazing attribute about Brock Purdy and his scrambling abilities. He can run.
He's for there are some limitations, I would say. He has great escapability. That's actually something we've seen. His quick area, quick burst, especially when he's getting rushed. He can get out of trouble. There was one time where he scrambled up the left sideline, got a first down. Looked sweet. There was other times though he was trying to remember that play. They were trying to have him run. I don't know if it was an option, but he ended up
Yeah,
running.
I think he should have handed off to Christian McCaffrey instead.
I don't know, but he did not have the speed to get around the corner, even you know to elude that one tackler. And his QB sneaks have something to be left to be desired because it wasn't that his sneaks are not very good either.
Brock Purdy plus Jimmy Garoppolo's QB sneaking ability is Tom Brady, basically.
So yeah, I for his quickness to get out of danger, that's great. A1. His rushing ability, I would not say is very fast. His QB sneak ability, not really that great either. That's okay. We don't need all that.
Because he is a pretty great passer. Because he has a 141.3 QB rating. That might be his highest of all time.
Wow, that is super high. He was very efficient. Let's just say he was 15 for 20 for 178 yards. And the biggest thing, 3 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions. That's why his QB rating is so high. Man, not throw from its yards, but when he does, they count. He makes them count. So he was very impressive today. Once again, another test passed, whatever that test was. But we're always going to want to see more from Brock Purdy, and slowly we're seeing more and more that he can give. So it used to be 2 touchdowns pretty much every game. That was his pretty much average. Then this is the game busted out 3 touchdowns. Very good. So we can lean on him if we need to score. That's good to know.
Okay, back to Elijah Mitchell. I just want to say he looked great. And coming off of an MCL tour, was it tear or sprain?
I think it was a sprain, yeah.
Coming off an MCL sprain and doing that well, running 55 yards, 5 attempts, and 2 touchdowns, 11 yards per carry. That's really great for a person who just sprained their MCL and coming off an IR and didn't even practice this week. Who just activated right to the roster. Didn't even practice.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive. Yeah, Elijah Mitchell is running back number 2 just because CMC's here, but if not, he is a great RB1. I would have no problems. It's exciting to watch this guy.
And then we kind of got an injury-free game. It was just that DFF Demetrius Flanagan Fowles.
DFF for short.
Now, just to tell you the exact player name, he got a neck injury. I was not aware until I saw on the 49ers web zone, and he was out for the game.
Yeah. I mean,
it just downgrades your special teams a bit, I think.
He's our like fifth linebacker on the depth chart, and he's a special teamer. So not the biggest loss. Hopefully he'll be back for the next game. So it's great that we so far have come out, injury free from this last game, which is so important. So important. The last thing you wanted to do was to have an injury to a very important player. That was always the case with the injuries. The whole debate is whether or not to play the players or to protect them and not care too much about winning or losing this game. But before we go on further with the rest of the game, the biggest thing that we were looking at in the beginning of the morning was the Minnesota game. So we caught the Minnesota versus the Bears, right?
Yeah, it was like 28-29 to 13. One of those quarters. Or it was like in the 20s, high 20s.
Well, the score doesn't matter. The big thing is, of course, that the Vikings won
against the Bears with Nathan Peterman.
So that means that we needed to win to keep our second seed. And of course, the Eagles were playing at the same time we were, and they were pretty much, controlling the game against the Giants.
2016, it was close.
The Giants was like, they were just limping along, and David Webb was making his first start of his career. So it didn't look too hot. And of course, the Eagles won. So basically, the whole injury thing it's a moot point now since nobody got injured, but that was always in the back of their minds how it would affect our seeding. But us winning locked in the second seed. So that's really important.
Okay, now it's time to talk about every single player that led in the stat line. Has to be impressive, not like low, not 20, top 20. Basically, Gipson, 5 interceptions for the season. He led the 49ers in that category. Second was Funga, and then third was Jimmy Ward.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't call him a ball hawking safety like you said he was a ball hawking safety, but I don't really think he's that.
Oh no, I don't. I wouldn't call him a ball. He's not the guy who I would imagine as a ball hockey safety. And I think some of these passes were pretty bad, but hey, he catches them. So he's not exactly the guy who I would think is a ball hockey safety, but he's doing pretty good this season.
On offense, George Kittle led the team with 11 touchdowns.
This season, yeah. It blew my mind, man. Double digits for Kittle. He deserves it. Every year he should have that many. For so many years, he just doesn't get the opportunity.
And then for receiving, Brandon Ayuk with 1,015 yards. He broke the 1,000 yards this week. Let's give him an applause.
Yeah, we were on that watch too. We were looking for him to break that 1,000 yard mark. So we were so happy. Every time he caught a ball, we were like counting down the yards until he reached 1,000. So happy for him. Glad he could reach that milestone.
And then on the ground game, CMC, including the Panthers, got 1,094 rushing yards.
Yeah, that's truthfully, that's a little low. I would think CMC would have, 1,200, 1,300 yards.
Yeah, that's what he was projected to get.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, I'm kind of surprised. He works hard for his yards for sure. He works hard. He looks so fast. Once he gets that ball, he accelerates quickly. Very, so very impressive. I'm so happy we got him.
Okay, I wasn't really paying attention to this stat line very closely until like the end of the week of tackles. Fred Warner got 128 tackles, and right behind him was Dre Greenlaw with 127 tackles.
Pretty even. What a duel! What a duel there. Hope Dre Greenlaw can come back next week against in the playoff.
That'd be amazing. That'd be a big upgrade. Not over Aziz. I mean, Aziz is fine, but definitely be an upgrade and help the defense. Okay, finally, the thing we've been watching the most this season, the Nick Bosa watch.
Yes, yes, yes. We're looking for Defensive Player of the Year for this guy, and he's been slowly creeping up, and now he's been leading from the second half of the season, I would say. Um, Regular season's over. This was the last bit, so he did add a sack, like we said, and he ended up with 18 and a half sacks, and number one, first in the NFL.
Second was Hassan Reddick with 16 sacks. Matthew John got 15 and a half, and Chris Jones also got 15 and a half.
So those were like you said, sacks ain't everything, but it is something. And Hassan Reddick was close, but he ended up not having anything. I think one tackle in today's game. So it was Bosa's as a sack leader. It was his to lose today, and he did not give up the lead.
He should win Defensive Player of the Year. After that game, he should be the favorite.
I sure hope so. I mean, it's nothing flashy. He didn't have multiple sacks. He didn't have one last week. His stat lines have been kind of quiet, actually, last couple weeks. Uh, he did give a sack, but overall, this season, I think he has been the best. You know, he should be the DPOY.
I hope he is. And we just found out who we are playing against in the wild card round.
We just finished watching the game, the nighttime game, the last game of the regular season. It was Lions versus Green Bay. It was
Yeah, Green
close.
Bay.
Yeah, in Green Bay, it was really close, back and forth, and the Lions pulled it out. And since the Seahawks beat the Rams earlier today, the Detroit Lions were already out of playoff hunt. So basically, Detroit Lions was just there just to ruin the Packers' post season hopes if they won, and they did. They beat the Packers, so 20-16, I believe, and so that means
We are going against the Seahawks
mm-hmm,
at Levi Stadium.
yep, our third. Of course, this is our division rival. This would be our third time we're gonna meet up, play against them. So
This is like the biggest rivalry in the NFL, maybe. And now we're going against them in the wild card round.
yeah, yeah, exactly. We're gonna have to steamroll those guys. They're not gonna get out of our way because this is our season.
And we will stop Kenneth Walker, and so why Brock Purdy will win Offensive Rookie of the Year.
I, yeah.
He did rush over 100 yards this game, and that doesn't help Brock Purdy's case,
Yeah.
even though he got a really great game.
I think those rookie votes are only for the regular season. So whatever happened already, that's it. We're done. Postseason, totally different, right? So
Yeah,
and Kenneth Walker finished off on a strong note. Although Purdy, had his 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
141.3 QB rating.
If Purdy played a whole season like Kenneth Walker had the opportunity to, I think Purdy if extrapolate what he's been doing, he would probably, I would say, be offensive player of the rookie of the year if he had to play a whole season like Kenneth Walker did. But all he did was get to play 7 games, coming as a backup.
And the game against the Seahawks is at 1:35 p.m.
Saturday, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, we
We
found out
are
on
in a
Saturday.
doubleheader with some other team. I forgot. Was it like Chargers Jacksonville? Or was it the other team?
Okay. Yeah. So then that means who's the other players in this? It's Bucks versus Cowboys, I believe, and then the other NFC matchup is Vikings versus Giants. Right? So I would love to see what happens with all those players and all those players in the postseason. See who can move forward, who are going to be eliminated.
And we will upload another video soon. It will be about top 10 players, top 5 free agents that we got, and other things that in the regular season. We will upload before the wild card weekend.
Yeah. Yeah. So look forward to that.
Also, the preview podcast got 124 views. I was not expecting that. I just want to say thank you. And I did not expect that to be so popular, honestly.
Yes, thank you for listening. We too appreciate it a lot.
And that wraps up for today's post-game podcast. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And goodbye. And go Niners.
Go Niners.